Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're jumping into Mark Manson's The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Feck. We had some requests to look into this one, lots of curiosity about its, well, kind of different take on living a good life.
Yeah, it's definitely got a provocative title.
It does. So our plan is to basically unpack the main arguments from the summary we looked at and figure out what really stands out. Let's just dive in.
Okay, so right off the bat, the book kind of pushes back against this, relentless positivity culture.
Right.
It suggests that always trying to be positive can sometimes just make you feel worse, highlighting what you feel you're missing.
Like those affirmations that just remind you.
Yeah,
You don't actually feel that way yet.
exactly. And Manson argues we tend to give, well, too many fucks about things that in the grand scheme don't really matter that much, wasting energy.
Okay, but it's not just about being indifferent to everything, is it? That title's a bit misleading, maybe.
No, that's the key subtlety, I think. It's not apathy. It's about being really, really selective.
Selective. How so?
It's about figuring out your core values, what truly matters deep down to you, and then focusing your energy, your fucks on that.
Okay, so reserving that mental space for the big stuff,
Yeah.
not the small annoyances or fleeting highs.
Precisely. Things bigger than just feeling happy all the time.
And that's the subtle art bit, this choosing.
Yeah, that's how it's framed. It involves a few things according to the summary, like being okay with being different from the crowd.
Uh-huh.
And caring about something more important than avoiding pain or adversity. And also just recognizing that you're always making a choice about what to care about, consciously or not.
We get better at that with age, hopefully.
Ideally, yeah. More conscious selection.
So let's talk about happiness then. The book seems to redefine it, doesn't it? It's not some final destination.
Not at all. It presents happiness more as like a side effect, something that comes from solving problems.
Solving problems, like
Yeah.
fixing a leaky faucet makes you happy.
Ah, well, maybe. But more like tackling good problems. Problems that are meaningful because they align with your chosen values.
Ah, okay. So the struggle itself can be rewarding if it's for the right reason.
Right. The book asks, what kind of pain are you willing to endure? What struggles are worthwhile for you? That points to your values.
That's interesting. And it means negative feelings aren't just bad things to get rid of.
Exactly. They're framed as valuable feedback, like warning lights on a dashboard.
Okay.
They signal something's up, something needs addressing. So instead of pushing them down, you listen to them. They can actually motivate change.
Which leads to the idea that failure and suffering aren't just things to avoid at all costs.
Right. They're presented as kind of necessary for growth, unavoidable even. Failure is how you learn. Being wrong helps you adjust course.
That definitely goes against the grain of a lot of self-help advice.
It does. And it connects to what Manson calls the law of avoidance, how we instinctively dodge things that might challenge our identity or how we see ourselves.
That's something to chew on, for sure. How we protect our self-image. And a core piece of navigating all this, the book argues, is taking responsibility.
Huge point. Yeah. But it's nuanced. It's less about assigning blame for what happened in the past.
Right.
And more about owning your response now. Your choices, your reactions, how you interpret things today. It's about reclaiming your agency.
Which is pretty empowering, actually. Puts you back in the driver's seat.
That seems to be the idea.
Okay, so if we're choosing what to care about, the book must give some guidance on what makes for good things to care about. Values.
It does. It draws a line between what it calls good and bad values. Good ones are reality-based, constructive for society, immediate and controllable.
Like honesty.
Yeah.
Or vulnerability, maybe.
Things like that, yeah. Things you can do or be. Bad values are often the opposite, superficial, socially destructive, maybe, or dependent on others, like chasing popularity or feeling good all the time.
Because those aren't really in your control.
Exactly. And the argument is your values determine the kinds of problems you have in life and therefore the quality of your life.
Makes sense. Choose better values, get better problems, maybe.
Something like that. And one last interesting point was about being exceptional.
Oh, yeah. The pressure to be amazing at everything.
Right. The book kind of suggests letting go of that can be really liberating. Accepting being average in most things isn't failure, it's realistic. And maybe healthier.
Takes the pressure off.
It does. It also touches on entitlement, seeing it in both grandiose forms, like I'm better than everyone, and victim forms, like I deserve special treatment because I've suffered, both seen as unhelpful.
Okay, so wrapping this up,
Mm-hmm.
this deep dive really brings focus to that act of choosing where your attention goes, what you value.
Yeah, actively deciding.
And maybe the most challenging idea to leave listeners with is that deciding what not to give a feck about is just as important, maybe even more important, than deciding what you do care about.
It forces you to prioritize what truly counts for you.
So maybe the question for everyone listening is, what fucks are you ready to stop giving?